Are the Dallas Cowboys on the verge of a major shakeup? Dak Prescott scrambling. Micah Parsons sacking a quarterback. A missed field goal sailing wide. Sources say big changes are coming before the Steelers showdown. Offensive line reshuffling, a new defensive scheme, a blockbuster trade. The next 48 hours could change everything for America's team. Cowboys Nation, buckle up. You're not going to believe what's brewing in Dallas. Hey Cowboys Nation, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into some potentially game-changing news for America's team. That's right, we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys and the major shakeups that might be coming down the pipeline as they gear up to face the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 5. So grab your star-spangled gear, settle in, and let's break this down. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any breaking Cowboys news. And for all my ride or die fans, you know the drill. Smash that like button if you're ready for some Cowboys talk. Now, let's get into it. The Cowboys are sitting at 2-2 after the first quarter of the season. And let me tell you, it hasn't been the smoothest ride. We've seen flashes of brilliance, moments of frustration, and everything in between. But as we approach this crucial matchup against the Steelers, word on the street is that some big changes are brewing in Dallas. The current state of affairs. Before we dive into the rumored changes, let's take a quick look at where the Cowboys stand right now. After a nail-biting victory against the New York Giants in Week 1, followed by a tough loss to the Jets, a bounce-back win against the Cardinals, and then a heartbreaker against the Patriots. Its inner hesitancy has been an issue. Dak Prescott has shown moments of his old self, but he's also had some head-scratching plays that have left fans wondering what's going on. The defense, led by the phenomenal Micah Parsons, has been a bright spot, but even they've had their struggles, especially in the secondary. And let's not even get started on the kicking game. It's been a roller coaster, to say the least. But here's the thing, Cowboys Nation, our team isn't one to sit back and accept mediocrity. Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy, and the entire coaching staff know that changes need to be made if we want to be true contenders this season. And that brings us to the juicy part, the potential major changes that could shake up this team before they face the Steelers. Offensive line reshuffling. First up, let's talk about the big boys up front. The offensive line has been, well, let's just say it's been a work in progress. Tyron Smith's return was supposed to solidify things, but injuries and inconsistent play have plagued this unit. Sources close to the team are hinting at a potential reshuffling of the offensive line. Word is, the coaching staff has been experimenting with different combinations in practice, trying to find the perfect mix of protection for Dak and run blocking for our backs. One intriguing possibility is moving Zach Martin from right guard to right tackle. Now, I know what you're thinking, but he's an all-pro guard, and you're right. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and Martin's versatility could be the key to unlocking this offense's potential. Another name to watch out for is Tyler Smith. The young gun has shown flashes of brilliance, and there's talk of him potentially taking over at left tackle, allowing Tyron Smith to slide inside to guard. It's a bold move, but one that could pay dividends in both the short and long term. Defensive scheme overhaul. Now, let's shift gears to the defensive side of the ball. Dan Quinn has done a fantastic job with this unit overall, but there's always room for improvement, especially when you're facing a team like the Steelers. The buzz around the star is that Quinn is cooking up some new defensive packages specifically designed to throw Ben Roethlisberger off his game. We're talking about disguised coverages, exotic back packages, and maybe even some new personnel groupings. One name that keeps popping up in these discussions is rookie cornerback Nahshon Wright. At 6'4", he's got the length to disrupt those big Steelers receivers. And there's a chance we might see him getting more snaps in nickel and dime pitches. But the biggest potential change on defense. It's all about unleashing Micah Parsons even more. Yeah, I know, it seems impossible given how dominant he's already been. But sources say Quinn is drawing up some new schemes that will allow Parsons to be even more of a wild card. We're talking about lining him up all over the field, edge rusher one play, inside linebacker the next, and maybe even dropping him into coverage to bait Big Ben into a bad throw. Offensive play calling adjustments. Now, this next bit of info is going to ruffle some feathers. So brace yourselves, Cowboys Nation. There are whispers, and I mean whispers, that Mike McCarthy might be taking a more hands-on approach with the offensive play calling. Now, before you start freaking out, this doesn't mean Kellen Moore is getting the boot, far from it. But sources close to the team say that McCarthy has been working closely with Moore to inject some new life into the offense. We're talking about more pre-snap motion, more play-action passes, and get this, potentially even some wildcat formations. Yeah, you heard that right. The Cowboys might be bringing a little college flair to the NFL. The goal here is to keep the Steelers' defense guessing and to create more opportunities for our playmakers. Expect to see CeeDee Lamb moved around the formation even more, and don't be surprised if Tony Pollard gets an increased role in the passing game. Dak Prescott's new approach. Speaking of the offense, let's talk about the man under center, Dak Prescott. Now, we all know Dak's a great leader and a solid quarterback, but even he would admit that he hasn't been playing up to his standards so far this season. But here's where things get interesting. I've got it on good authority that Dak has been putting in extra hours at the facility, working on some specific aspects of his game. We're talking about footwork drills, deep ball accuracy, and even some unconventional training methods to improve his decision-making under pressure. One source even told me that Dak's been studying film of some unexpected quarterbacks, guys like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, to add some new elements to his game. Could we see a more mobile, improvising Dak against the Steelers? It's definitely a possibility. Game plan against the Steelers. So, with all these potential changes in mind, what can we expect to see against the Steelers? On offense, look for a more aggressive, up-tempo approach. The Cowboys know they need to strike early, and often against a tough Steelers defense. Expect to see a lot of no-huddle, quick passes to get Dak into a rhythm, and then some deep shots to keep the defense honest. Defensively, it's all about pressure. The Steelers' offensive line has been shaky, and you can bet Dan Quinn is going to dial up the heat. Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Randy Gregory are going to be coming from all angles, looking to make Big Ben uncomfortable all day long. And in the special teams game, don't be surprised if we see some trickery. A fake punt or an onside kick could be just the spark this team needs to secure a big road win. All right, Cowboys Nation, there you have it. The potential major changes that could reshape this team as they prepare for a crucial matchup against the Steelers. From offensive line reshuffling to defensive scheme overhauls, from special teams shakeups to potential trades, it's clear that the Cowboys are leaving no stone unturned in their quest for improvement. Will all these changes come to fruition? Probably not. But the fact that the team is willing to explore every option shows just how committed they are to turning this season around and making a serious playoff push. As always, I want to hear from you. What changes do you think the Cowboys need to make? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get that discussion going. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and share it with your fellow Cowboys fans. Every like and share helps the channel grow, and I can't thank you enough for your support. Remember, win, lose, or draw, we're always Cowboys Nation. Stay safe, stay passionate, and let's go Cowboys.